Hey, good evening, traders, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at Robinhood. Ticker symbol is HOOD, and we're going to do something interesting. I'm going to break down both the bull case and the bear case for Robinhood because I'm actually getting some conflicting information in the charts on this. So why not look at both sides of the coin here? So the first thing we're going to look at is the bear side of Robinhood. So first, what you could see is we were confined rather, inside this large parallel, right? Where we established this high, came down, established this low, and then we were kind of riding the median line right in here, and then kind of went down through it, overthrew the median line. I actually thought we were going to come up and kiss the top of this at about 172, 173. We did not. We actually rejected the median line, came back in, then tried to come back in again and reject it again. Now, the interesting thing on the bear side is we've broken this longer term diagonal support, which is essentially the bottom line of the parallel, right? So you have this touch point, you have this touch point, you have that bounce out of there, and then you have the failure through it. So now let's zoom in because this is where the nuance becomes really, really, really important. Okay, so I want to walk you through the anatomy of this breakdown. So first things first, we had the breakdown. We had a low on that candle of, I'm just going to mark that out. We had a low of about 119.27, okay? Now, the next candle, we did not confirm the breakdown of this parallel. It took the following candle to confirm the breakdown. And the confirmation is when you close below the wick low of that candle. So we had the confirmation there, and that cements the fact that we are decisively now below the parallel or this diagonal, resistance line. So what did we do? We moved into, now this is a really, really interesting chart, and it honestly behaved very, very well. So let's go back to the daily chart, because from the daily chart, you can see we had a gap to fill right at essentially 101, right? So we came into that, and what did we do? To the absolute, close to the tick, not the absolute tick, but we kissed it. Like, look at that, insane. I had my alert right there. I was actually in a short position. I'm gonna take that alert off. And I covered actually at 102 because I was thinking, I'm not gonna chance it because this chart's way too darn bullish overall to chance it. So on that breakdown, I actually covered at 102. It was absolute awesome cover, and then from there we ignited higher. Right now, to me, and again in the bullish scenario, all this is, ladies and gentlemen, is just a retrace to the scene of the crime, which means scene of the crime is the breakdown of the parallel or the diagonal line, right? So we're coming into that, and I expect, again, under the bullish or the bearish lens, I expect this to get rejected and see something like this. Okay, again, bearish scenario. Bearish scenario, potentially do something like that. That's the bearish scenario. Why do I expect this? Well, because, again, we've confirmed below this diagonal support line, turned resistance now, and now I fully expect that rejection. So maybe one more move into it, maybe a wick above, maybe an overthrow into it, but again, we don't get decisively back into it until we confirm above it. So I'll show you that in the bull case because that's very, very important. So as a bear, I would expect this to break down. You can see RSI is kind of turning, and I expect this to get rejected. Now, those moving averages right there, just so everyone knows what these are. That's the 20-day, the white, the 50-day, the green, the 100-day, the blue, and then the 200-day, the red. Now, the reason it's white here and green here is because it's going to show you that's a level to buy. As it stays white, that's the level to buy. Once it turns red, then it's saying, okay, when it gets into this, that indicator saying you want to sell. So on the bear side, you can see we're red, that's a sell as we come into that. So you have that confluence of those two moving averages, the 20, the 50, you have the bottom end of the parallel, and that, my friends, is a sell. Then I think we come down, probably fill this gap here, bounce, maybe come into, you know, maybe this lower level right in here. These kind of that is area right here. That's kind of why I put that right there, and then kind of reject from there. But I ultimately do see us at a very minimum on the bear side. I see us testing this 200-day. The thing about the 200-day though is once you get into the 200-day, what do we have? All this open space. Okay. Now that open space should ultimately, again, really depends on the market, depends on a lot of things. But I do think we test the 200-day. Now, will they save it from here and will it go higher? Potentially. And I'm going to outline that in the bullish scenario. But, you know, as a bear, I'm actually seeing this as open space, and I'm seeing a proper retest of this previous all-time high breakout of 66. So I'm ultimately, as a bear, seeing a downside move to about 66. Because we never really retested that. We broke out here. We had a kiss retest right here. Let me zoom in to show you that. Look at that. We never properly retested this. And let me go to the daily right there. See that? So there's the high. We never retested right there. So one, that's a gap that never got filled. Two, we never had a proper retest of that previous all-time high. So as a bear, I'm looking at that and licking my chops. That we ultimately will move back down into it. So, okay, so now let's look at the bullish scenario. So let's take this off, the parallel, and what I want to draw on here is, and I'm going to take this off, leave on the gap fill, take that off. Okay, so as a bull, here's what I see. I see we could have left the parallel on, but I'm gonna put it on like this, and then we're gonna draw a diagonal. Now, I still see this as resistance. However, on the bull side, I'm looking at the volume. And I'm saying we've had no real strong sell volume. We had some in here, but there was never a really big couple days of sell. So as a bull, I'm thinking, okay, this is a bear trap. And as a bull, I expect this to come back in and do something like this and reestablish and take us higher into those highs that we never hit, right? That upper bound of the parallel, if we throw the parallel back on there, we never really went to that very, very top end range. And as a bull, I'm saying, okay, well, the market's just reestablished. The markets, I'm looking over at my other screen over here, the markets clearly have established a move higher. Now they're setting higher highs. They've broken the lower lows or the lower highs scenario. So will it hold? Not sure. But as a bull, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a move back into this parallel, into this ascending zone, and I'm seeing a confirmation, a back test, and then a move higher. So we'll see. I mean, this is an interesting look. And again, as a bull, I'm also looking at Elliott Wave. And I put this, for those of you who aren't familiar, Hub is a free platform, and I only use it to apply Elliott Wave theory right here because you have to be an absolute pro to be able to do this yourself, and I'm just not quite there yet. But what you can clearly see here is we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have this corrective A, B, C into a 4, which still implies that we have a 5 to go, right? So the 5 can set us up for a move to about 200, if not higher. So as a bull, I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, we haven't established a 5-wave sequence. Now, just to give you more context, I just did an analysis on NVIDIA using Elliott Wave 2 as a basis for the downside move. And you can see if we go into NVIDIA, we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had that 5-wave impulse, and we're actually working on a corrective move to the downside. Now, if you go back to Hood, again, that 5-wave is not in there. So it implies a move to about 200. So we will see. But as a bull, I'm I'm looking at this and kind of licking my chops. So there you have it, conflicting information on the charts. But you know, as a trader, you really have to look at the charts and remain objective and not have a bias. As great as I might think a company is, or as crummy as I might think a company is, you know, it's all about price movement. It's all about the charts, and the charts don't lie. So that's what I got for you guys. I wish I had more. Hey, oh wait, one more thing on the bull side. So another thing we can do to get a target on the upside move is we can do a trend-based extension, and if we do that, we have these levels here. So we have, look at that. Oh my God, look at that confluence. That's so cool to see. And I'm just doing this live, but check this out. Your first target, your 618, your fib 618, where does that target? Top end of that zone. Isn't that cool? I absolutely love this stuff. Okay, second target though. Look at this. The 100% move off a trend-based extension is going to be 226. Then you even have higher levels from there. You have 255, you have 130, you know, you have 273. I mean, it gets kind of crazy, but you could have a price target as high as of 302. So there you go, bulls. If you like Robinhood and you're on the bull side, there you go. There's your targets. Upside of about 300 on an extremely, extremely bullish move. So anyways, I do this for educational purposes only, not to not any financial advice whatsoever. And always to share with you what I'm doing with my own personal trading portfolio. And on that note, just to tell you where I'm at, I'm leaning more bearish. I do think this will reject. I'm actually in some puts. I do think we're going to retest this 200, and then potentially we can move higher. But I do see a test of that 200 in that kind of 80, 89, 90 lower range. So yeah, guys, there you have it. Hit that like button, show some love for the channel, help me grow it. If you like what I'm doing here, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Comment below on what your take is on Robinhood, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, guys, until the next one, peace, love, respect, and I'm out.